Hello everyone. So I'm wishing you all the very best for the future activities as the very first wish of the day. However, today we are going to start 2028 A-Level Economics second session. Okay, so last session was basically focused on teaching learning introduction. We introduced to the subject, we introduced who will be your lecturer, and we introduced lots of things in that way. That was completely the last session, an introduction. Today is the very beginning of theory. Today is the very beginning of theory. Let's start the theory, but I want to hear from you. If I'm audible and visible for everyone, please put yes in the chat box. හොඳයි. මම පැහැදිලිව ඇහෙනවා නම් මම පැහැදිලිව පේනවා නම් yes කියලා දාගෙන යන්න. හොඳයි අපි කැමති ඔයගොල්ලෝ yes කියලා දාගෙන යනවා නම් okay right Ahmed replies Sanut replied Charu reply okay I want replies from everyone in the plenary. If I'm clearly audible, if I'm clearly visible for everyone in the audience, please put yes in the chat box. Right. Okay, I think we are going to start the second session of PW Economics teaching process. I think the PDF is already available in the chat box, and I have uploaded the first 10 pages of the PDF in the official WhatsApp group as well. Right, shall we start the very first lesson? Of course. Now we are in the page number 5. Let's see, where are we? Okay, let's see, where are we staying right now? Right, okay. Let's move to the right. Okay, we are moving to the okay. So I think our technical team will be supporting to clean this one. Right, let's clean this one. Okay, let's go up. Let's go up. Right. Okay, actually we have discussed all about the A-level syllabus, right? Last Friday we discussed about the A-level syllabus, and then we are moving to the A-level. Yes, we have discussed about the A-level structure as well, and I asked you to complete the lesson map by looking at the subtopics. Okay, subtopics, because in the TEUT all the subtopics are available. You can complete this lesson map by looking at the subtopics. But before moving to everything, now we learn and lesson. Labai, we are going to start lesson number 1. So you can see lesson 1 is having 3 major components. What are the 3 major components? 1.1 introduction is there. 1.2 production possibility curve is there. 1.3 economic system is there. That means this lesson number 1 is comprised of 3 TEUTs. 3 TEUTs, right? Very first TEUT is introduction. This TEUT, we call it as 1.1 TEUT. And the second one, 1.2 TEUT, the name of the TEUT is production possibility frontier or production possibility curve. And then last, it is all about economic systems. So, right, we have to complete 3 TEUTs to complete the lesson number 1 and to earn 20 out of 20 for the lesson number 1 oriented question. Right, so we are now starting from 1.1 introduction. 1.1 introduction. Right, let's jump. Okay, you can complete these subtopics by looking at the order in the TEUT, right? In the TEUT, each subtopic were labeled with this kind of a number 1.1.1, 1.1.2, like that. You can see the order in the tute and you can complete these blanks leisurely at home. This is the lesson map. Okay. So, today we are not starting 1.2, not starting 1.3, we are starting 1.1, the very first tute in the lesson 1. Right. Okay. What is the first subtopic? Right. Now you can see 1.1.1, it is definition of economics. 1.1.1, it is a definition about economics, right. Right. Can I have the pen from the technical team, because these buttons are not working. All right. Right. Now we are going to start. I want the pen. Can I have the pen, please? Because these buttons are not working. Okay. Right. Here are the pens. Right, we will be taking can I have the black color or red color? Right. Okay, now everybody listen. Right. Now with good energy, shall we start lesson 1, introduction to economics. Okay. Now firstly, the main subtopic is definition in economics. Now I'm wondering what is economics. You're also wondering what is economics. Let's see how different people have defined economics in this history. Now see, you want to define Pasan Vijayavadana. Let's see, you want to define Pasan Vijayavadana, right? Imagine you want to define Pasan Vijayavadana. Different people are defining Pasan Vijayavadana in different ways, right? Different people. One person can say Pasam Vijayavadana is a university lecturer, right? Another person can say Pasan Vijayavadana is a smart person. Another body can say, right, Pasan Vijayavadana is a ugly person. That is his or her view, right? See, same Pasan Vijayavadana was defined in different views. This is the common thing that can be happening everywhere. I'm asking you to define this pen, okay, or define this object. One person can say this is something prepared with use of iron or something like that. That is the way that he is saying something about this pen, right? Another one can say no, this is something which can be reusable again and again. That is the definition that he is giving. Another person can say no, this is something with no use, right? Different people can see at or perceive at this one in different angles. එහෙනම් එකම පෑනක් දිහා එක එක අය එක එක දෘෂ්ටිකෝණ වලින් දකින්න පුළුවන්. ඔන්න ඕක තමයි economics වලට උනේ. The subject economics can be defined by the different people in different angles. Subject economics can be defined by the different people in different dimensions, in different angles. In different dimensions, in different angles. See what happened in the past, right? Okay, now I'm moving to the very first definition. This definition was given by Adam Smith. Adam Smith. right? Do you know Adam Smith? Yes, Adam Smith is the father of economics. Adam Smith is the father of economics. Father of economics, right? Adam Smith is the father of economics. So in 1776, he wrote a book called The Wealth of Nations. Wealth of Nations. This is the name of the book, right? The name of the book is The Wealth of the Nations. Wealth of the Nations. So this was considered and this is identified as the very first book in economics. Economics වලින් ලියවිච්ච පළවෙනිම පොත. ඒක නිසා economics වලින් ලියවිච්ච පළවෙනිම පොත ලිව්වේ ස්කොට්ලන්තේ බිහිවෙච්ච මේ ඇඩම් ස්මිත් නිසා. ඇඩම් ස්මිත් අපි කිව්වා father of economics කියලා. එයා කියනවා economics කියන්නේ හරි අපූර්ව දෙයක්. මොකක්ද බලන්න එයාගේ definition එක. He is saying that economics is about studying, right? The wealth, studying about the wealth, එහෙනම් wealth එක ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න එක. Studying about the wealth. ධනය ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න එක තමයි economics කියලා ඇඩම් ස්මිත් කියනවා. ළමයි, that means the father of economics in 1776 he wrote the book called The Wealth of Nations. In this book Adam Smith said that economics is a study of wealth. The study of wealth, in simply we can say it's a study of wealth. ධනය ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න එක තමයි economics කියන්නේ කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ සල්ලි ගැන කතා කරන එක, ධනස්කන්ධයක් ගැන කතා කරන එක, money ගැන කතා කරන එක. That is economics. That was the perception of whom? Adam Smith. This was the definition provided in which year? 1776. So we called it as what century? 18th century. This is the ideology. So people believe that economics is a subject which is studying about wealth. Economics is a subject which is studying about money. Economics is a subject which is studying about the coins and notes. සල්ලි ගැන ධනය ගැන කතා කරන සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ආන් ඒක තමයි economics කියලා මිනිස්සු විශ්වාස කරන්න පටන් ගත්තා. That was the 18th century definition for economics. But later on, this argument was rejected. But before moving to the latter period definitions, shall we take what father of economics said? Yes. Okay, fill this blank. Economics is about, yes, don't write this thing. This is just for your understanding. Just write, don't put the bracket. Just write study of wealth. A study of wealth. Economics is a study of wealth. Write down it. And economics is about the study of wealth. This is the definition Adam Smith provided. He said that economics is a subject where we are studying about money. Economics is a subject where we are studying about the finance. Economics is a subject where we are studying about this currency. Simply, economics is a subject where we are studying about the wealth of the people. That was wrong, but that was the initial definition. That was the initial definition. This was the very first definition provided for the subject economics on this earth, right? Okay, economics is about the study of wealth. Once you have written it, please write the name of the book, The Wealth of Nations. The Wealth of Nations. The book name is The Wealth of Nations. මේ පොතේ තමයි මේ නිර්වචනය දුන්නේ. ඇතර මේ පොතේ හරිම නම ළමයි මීට වඩා දිගයි, right? අපි මේ කෙටි කරලා තමයි මේ පොතේ නම ලියාගන්නේ. The Wealth of Nations. And for Adam Smith, you write within brackets father of economics, and below Adam Smith you write 18th century, because this is the definition provided for the economics in 18th century. Okay, write everything on the screen, right? Economics is about the study of wealth. Write it first. don't put bracket, just write that one. And the book which mentioned this definition is The Wealth of Nations, right? And who wrote that book? He is Adam Smith, and write the name of this, sorry, Adam Smith is very popular as the father of economics. Right. If you have written all, just put done in the chat box. If you have written all, please put done in the chat box. Right. We got few responses from the audience. I want everyone to reply. If you have finished writing, please put done in the chat box. Right, everybody finished? Right, shall we move ahead? Right, now listen, okay. Now we have got to understand about what was the 18th century definition for economics, right? 18th century definition for economics, right? It says that economics is studying only about wealth. But what happened? When it moves to 19th century, this is a 19th century definition for economics. This was provided by Alfred Marshall, another economy school, Alfred Marshall in 1890. What he said, look carefully, this definition. Okay, look here, a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of the individual and social actions are individual actions මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීම් ගැන කතා කරන සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් තමයි ඉකොනොමික්ස් කියලා කියාගෙන එනවනේ. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ actions මේ individual actions, social actions, මිනිස්සුන්ගේ actions ගැන කතා කරන විද්‍යාවක් තමයි ඉකොනොමික්ස්. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ actions ගැන කතා කරනවා. කොහොමද කස්ටමර්ස්ලා ගිහිල්ලා කීල් සුපර් එකේ ගුඩ් එකක් සිලෙක්ට් කරන්නේ? මිනිහෙක්ගේ action එකක්. කොහොමද ප්‍රොඩියුසර්ස්ලා goods and services manufacture කරන්නේ? මිනිහෙක්ගේ action එකක්. right? කොහොමද resources වල අයිතිකාරයෝ ඉඩම් වල අයිතිකාරයෝ ඒවා ඉඩම් විකුණන්නේ? how the landowners are selling the lands, right? මිනිස්සුන්ගේ actions. How customers are purchasing goods, how producers are producing goods, how landowners are selling their lands. So we are talking about human actions, human behavior. And Alfred Marshall is saying that, yes, this is a subject which is also studying about what? Individual and social actions. Okay? Go ahead. Which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of material requisites of well-being. Thus, this is the most important part in the definition. Therefore, grab the attention to here. Right? Thus, it is on one side, එක පැත්තකින් ඔන්න economics වල definition එක. එක පැත්තකින් it is a study of wealth. It is a study of wealth. It is a study of wealth. Alfred Marshall didn't reject the ideology presented by father of economics Adam Smith. Adam Smith කිව්වනේ economics කියලා කියන්නේ wealth ගැන කතා කරන subject එකක් කියලා. ධනය ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්න subject එකක් කියලා. ඒක මුළුමනින්ම ප්‍රතික්ෂේප කරන්නේ අපි Alfred Marshall. එයා කියනවා on one side economics is a study of wealth. economics වල එක පැත්තක අපි කරන්නේ wealth ගැන කතා කරන එක තමයි. And on the other side, okay, and from the more important side, වඩා වැදගත්ම පැත්තෙන් බැලුවොත් we are studying about what? Economics is a study of man. Man mean, study of man mean, we are studying about human behavior. What sort of human behavior? Human economic behavior. Okay, what sort of human behavior? Human economic behavior. As I previously mentioned, right, in economics we are studying how customers are consuming goods and services, a human behavior. How producers are producing goods and services, human behavior. How landowners are selling their lands to earn profit. How machine owners are selling their machines to earn profit. Always human behaviors. Okay, so what Alfred Marshall said, economics is not only about studying wealth, but it is also about studying about human behavior. So he said that economics is having two workloads. Okay, look at here, from his onwards we can say on one side it is a study of wealth, සල්ලි ගැන කතා කරනවා එක පැත්තකින්, ධනය ගැන ඉගෙන ගන්නවා එක පැත්තකින්, අනිත් පැත්තෙන් on the other side, right, it is a study of man. අනිත් පැත්තෙන් අපි මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීම් ගැන අධ්‍යයනය කරනවා. කස්ටමර්ස්ලා කොහොමද බඩු ගන්න කීල්ස් එකට ගිහිල්ලා, ප්‍රොඩියුසර්ස්ලා කොහොමද බුක් ෂොප් එකක බුක්ස් print කරන්නේ, බුක්ස් ප්‍රොඩියුස් කරන්නේ, ලෑන්ඩ් එකක අයිතිකාරෝ කොහොමද ලාභ ලබන්න ලෑන්ඩ් විකුණන්නේ, මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීම්, humanලගේ behavior ගැන කතා කරනවා. And economics is in one side a study of wealth, on the other side a study of human behaviors. Who said like that? Alfred Marshall. This is the argument in which period? 19th century. Now I strongly prefer if you can highlight or underline the important words in this definition. Individual and social actions, right? Underline that word. Then study of wealth and study of man. Both. Underline the word. Once you underline, I prefer if you can write this one, 19th century below 1890 number. Right? Underline the keywords. And I prefer if you can write study of man means human behavior. The study of man means human behavior. Okay? Right. Cool. Now I think you have highlighted, underlined the important words, and you named 19th century below number 1890, and you named the study of man as human behavior. What sort of human behaviors are we talking? Economic human behavior. Okay, right. Okay, shall we erase all? Now I'm erasing everything, right? Hope you have finished all. Now I'm erasing everything, right? Then I will be jumping to the next part. Okay, that was 18th century. Let's move. Okay, Right, wait. Go down, go down, go down. Right. Now there are two more definitions to be learned. Look here. I will be covering the last two definitions. That does not mean there are only four definitions. There are multiple definitions. See, Pasam Vijayavardhana can be defined by different people in different angles. In the same way, subject economics was defined by different people in different angles. Right. Okay, so what is economics according to Lionel Robinson? Lionel Robbins. He was a person at the time of 1931, okay, and John Maynard Keynes, in short form we call J.M. Keynes. Both the definitions were given in 1931 and 1936. That means which century? Which century? Yes, it is 20th century. 20th century. Let's see how people have looked at the subject economics in 20th century. Right? විසිවෙනි සියවසේ මිනිස්සු economics දැකපු විදිහ අපි බලමු. Right? Okay. Read it. Economics is a social science. This term is also important. Social science. What do you mean by social science, Lamai? Social science is a subject which is studying about human behavior. See the beauty of that word. Social science is a subject which is studying about human behavior. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීම ගැන කතා කරන සයන්ස් සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකක් තියෙනවනේ ඒක තමයි social science. ඇත්තනේ ඉකොනොමික්ස් වලත් මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීම කතා කරනවානේ. මං කලින් කිව්වා වගේ මිනිස්සු ගිහිල්ලා කොහොමද තෙල් පොලිමේ තෙල් ගහගන්නේ කස්ටමර්ස්ලාගේ හැසිරීම. ඊට පස්සේ තෙල් ෂෙඩ් එකේ මුදල් අලිලා තෙල් බවුසරෙන් තෙල් ගෙනල්ලා ඒක මිනිස්සුන්ට බෙදන්නේ කොහොමද? ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රොඩියුසර්ස්ලාගේ හැසිරීම. All these are human behaviors, no? Human economic behaviors. එතකොට human behaviors ගැන කතා කරන subject එකකට අපි කියනවා කෙටි නමක්. What is it? Social science. Okay. Lionel Robbins brought this term social science because economics is a subject which is studying about human behaviors in terms of economics. Right. We just study about human behavior again in relationship between end and scarce. This term scarce will be coming later. Scarce means which have alternative uses. Now tell me, when it comes to the Lionel Robbins period, what happened to the definition of economics? It was limited only to the term what? Human behavior. The definition in economics was limited only to the word human behavior. Can you remember how Adam Smith defined? Adam Smith said economics is studying about wealth. Can you remember how Alfred Marshall defined? He said, in one hand it is studying about wealth, on the other hand it is studying about human behavior. But what is the definition of Lionel Robbins? He said that economics is not talking about wealth, he is not mentioning anything about wealth, he is saying that economics is studying only about what? Human behavior. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ආර්ථික හැසිරීමක් ගැන කතා කරන විෂයක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒක තමයි ඉකොනොමික්ස් කියලා කියනවා. එහෙනම් එයාර ඇඩම් ස්මිත් ගෙනාපු වෙල්ත් කියන වචනේ පාවිච්චි කරන්නෙම නැහැ. එහෙනම් මේකේ වෙල්ත් පාවිච්චි කරන එකත් හියුමන් බිහේවියර් වලම කෑල්ලක් විදියට තමයි ලයනල් රොබින්ස් දකින්නේ. මිනිස්සු සල්ලි පාවිච්චි කරන එක, මිනිස්සු ධනය පාවිච්චි කරන එක ඒකත් මිනිස්සුන්ගේ හැසිරීමක්. That is also a human behavior. Using wealth by people. It is also a human behavior. So Lionel Robbins said that economics is studying about what? Human behavior. He touched that term only. He didn't care about what? Wealth. So the idea presented by John Maynard Keynes is not far different. It is almost same. Right? That means ideology in 20th century is almost same. What John Maynard Keynes said, economics is not an ideology. ඒක දර්ශනයක් නෙමෙයි. දැන් බුද්ධ ධර්මය කියන්නේ දර්ශනයක්. Right? Ideology එකක්, මතවාදයක්. But it is not an ideology or a vision. දර්ශනයක් නෙමෙයි. It is a toolkit which help to mind in order to make decisions, make accurate decisions. තෙල් පොලිමේ ගිහිල්ලා තෙල් ගහ ගන්නවාද? Making accurate decision. අද පොලේ විකුණන්න වැඩිපුර හාල් ගෝනි ටිකක් මුදලාලි විදියට මම ගෙනියනවාද? Right? Whether I'm going to sell nadu rice or samba rice, that decision, right? That is a producer's decision. Previous one is a consumer's decision. එහෙනම් consumer කෙනෙක් විදියට consumersලා decision ගන්නවා කියන්නේ, producer කෙනෙක් විදියට producersලා decision ගන්නවා කියන්නේ, අය මේ making decisions කියන්නේ මොකේට කියන සමාන පදයක්ද? human behavior වලට කියන සමාන පදයක්. human behavior වලට කියන සමාන පදයක්. එහෙනම් both Lionel Robbins and John Maynard Keynes said that economics is studying about what? Human behavior. Economics is studying about what? Human behavior. Economics කියලා කියන්නේ human behavior ගැන study කරන විෂයක්. Right? That was the 20th century argument. Now it is clear. You can underline the word human behavior and you can put arrow for the make accurate decision and name it as also human behavior. And I'm requesting you to put a flower bracket here and name it as 20th century. This is the ideology about economics in 20th century. Right. If you have finished everything, put finish in the chat box. If you have finished everything, put finish in the chat box. Fast, 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 fast. Okay. If you have finished everything, put finish. Okay. Thank you, Ahmed. Right. We want replies from everyone. Sanule, thank you. Right. Good. Charu, thank you. Right. What about others? If you have finished everything, please put done in the chat box. Senu, thank you. Right. Everyone, please put finish if you have finished everything. That means you have to underline and you have to underline everything, and you have to put a flower bracket for 1931 and 1936 and name it as 20th century. That's all. Right. Okay. Now this is the summary of definition of economics. Right. My lovely students, now give replies for these answers. You need to actively reply to my answers. Right. Tell me, use the chat box and tell me, what was the very first definition? Who provided it? Adam Smith, father of economics, no? He said that economics is studying about, yes, put the answer in the chat box. He said that the father of economics, Adam Smith, right? He said that economics is studying about what? Wealth. Good, excellent, people are replying. And the second definition, Alfred Marshall. Okay, what Alfred Marshall said? In one hand, it is studying about tick. On the other hand, it is studying about tick. Okay. So what are the two elements that he touched? On one hand, okay, Alfred Marshall, on one hand, it is studying about what? Tick. Give me the answer for the tick. Good. People are replying. On one hand, it is studying about wealth. And on the other hand, it is studying about human behavior. Good, thank you. But last, Lionel Robbins and John Maynard Keynes, they said that economics is studying about what? Human behavior only. They didn't talk about the word wealth. Good. Now coming to the next section of the tune. Okay. Right. Now we are moving to the, yes, The next section, what is it? What is the topic? How do you define economics? ඔය අපි කතා කරේ father of economics Adam Smith ගේ definition එක. ඔය අපි කතා කරේ Alfred Marshall ලගේ definition එක. ඔය අපි කතා කරේ Lionel Robbins ලගේ definition එක. ඔය අපි කතා කරේ John Maynard Keynes ලගේ definition එක. හැබැයි economics කියන එක අපි කොහොමද define කරන්නේ? We are now going to discuss our own definition. Are you ready? Yes. Let's move. But before moving to how do you define economics, right? We need to know about two things. We need to know about two things, right? What are the two things? First, we need to know about fundamental economic problem. Fundamental economic problem. The very first one is fundamental economic problem. What happened? Okay. Okay. Fundamental economic problem. Then secondly, we need to know about functions in economy. Functions in economy. Functions in economy. Okay, right. I think, right, I'm changing the pen color now. What are the things that we need to know before giving our own definition for economics? Economics වලට අපේම නිර්වචනයක් දෙන්න කලින් අපි දැනගන්න ඕන economics ගැන කරුණු දෙකක් නේ අපි වැඩෝනේ මේනේ ළමයි economics වලට ඔච්චර definition එකක් දෙන්නනේ එහෙනම් අපි බලන්න ඕන economics වලට අපේම definition එකක් දෙන්න නම් කරුණු දෙකක් දැනගෙන ඉන්න ඕන මොනවද කරුණු දෙක number 1 fundamental economic problem ඒ කියන්නේ economics වල තියෙන කේන්ද්‍රීය ප්‍රශ්නය ආර්ථික විද්‍යාවේ කේන්ද්‍රීය ප්‍රශ්නය the central problem in the whole economics we will be talking about it first. Firstly, we should know what is it before moving to defining what is economics. Second thing that we should know before defining economics, that is functions in economy. Functions in economy. Shall we start? Okay, listen. Right, very first thing is, yes, we need to know about, right, fundamental economic problem. Fundamental economic problem. Everyone listen. Okay. Now I will be taking the green space to explain what is economics. You have to write fundamental economics problem in that space based on the explanation that I am doing here. Everyone listen. Right. I want to take some people here. You can see some small set of the people are here. Minissu ටිකක් ඉන්නවා. Right. These people are having what? Wants. Wants. People are having wants. That is obvious. Wants are our preferences. අපි කැමති දේවල්. අපි ආස දේවල්. Okay, now you use the chat box and tell me what are the things that you like to consume. Tell me some examples for the wants. Wants, things that you like to consume. Your preferences. ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ කැමති දේවල්. Yes, use the chat box and tell me, right? Suppose you are going to a shop and you want to buy lots of things. Tell me some examples for the wants. Right? I can see this chat box. People are saying, I want a brand new shoe. Okay, good, good. There is a one response. Brand new shoes. Brand new shoes. That means simply a want. Right? What about others? Huh? Okay, the people are saying KFC chicken bucket. Okay, wow, wow. People are having different wants. KFC chicken bucket. It is a want. But can you tell me a want related to a kind of a dream car? Dream car? Tell me your dream car model to drive on one day. That is also a want. Yes, dream car. No responses, no one is dreaming. Yo, we are receiving answers. Tesla car. Wonderful. All these are people wants. Minisunge asawan. Minisunge kamathi deval. Right. I would like to ask one question from everyone. Yes, of course, people are having wants, but people or humans' wants are limited or unlimited. Limited or unlimited? Can we count the number of wants that people are having, or can't we count? Tell me, limited or unlimited? Chat box is open for you. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ආසාවන්, මිනිස්සුන්ගේ කැමැත්තවල්, මිනිස්සුගේ preferences ඒවා ගණන් කරන්න පුළුවන් තරම් lesser number එකක්ද තියෙන්නේ, countable ද, limited ද, නැත්නම් ගණන් කරන්න බැරි තරම් unlimited ද? Yes, people are saying, Sanuli, Kasuni, thank you for the replies. Yes, unlimited. Of course, unlimited. දැන් මට මතකයි මට මුලින්ම තිබුණේ ළමයි ස්කූටියක්. ඊට පස්සේ ස්කූටිය පැත්තට පස්සේ ඔන්න මගේ ආසාව ඇති වුණා. ඒ වොන්ට් එක සැටිස්ෆයි කරමුවාම ඊළඟ ආසාව ඇති වුණා රෝද හතරක් ගන්න. රෝද හතර අරගෙන ඒ ආසාවෙන් පස්සේ CHR එකක් ගන්න. CHR එකෙන් පස්සේ BMW එකක් ගන්න. BMW එකෙන් පස්සේ ටෙස්ලා එකක් පදින්න. ඒ කියන්නේ අපේ ආසාවන් වොන්ස් කියන දේවල් කවදාවත් කෙලවරක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. නවතින්නේ ඕන තරම් තියනවානේ. කඩේකට ගියොත් ඒ කඩේම උනත් ගන්න කැමති දේවල් ආස දේවල් wants we can't count. Unlimited. Yes, I'm right in the correct answer. Okay, majority have given the correct answer. Wants are unlimited. Right? But now I'm linking human wants with something. Okay, to satisfy human wants, okay, to satisfy human wants, we need to consume what? We need to consume goods and services. Okay, people are having, okay, want of a BMW car. To satisfy BMW car want, you need to consume a BMW car. BMW car එක කියන ආසාවක් ඔයාට තියෙනවා නම්, want එකක් ඔයාට තියෙනවා නම්, උවමනාවක් ඔයාට තියෙනවා නම්, ඒක satisfy කරගන්න BMW car එකක් එලවන්නම ඕන. එහෙනම් so for that you need to have a BMW car. Okay, some of the students in this plenary said KFC chicken bucket. It is a want of themselves. If your want is KFC chicken bucket, then you have to consume KFC chicken bucket. If your want is KFC chicken bucket, how to satisfy it? By consuming a chicken bucket. If your want is a vegetable, then you have to consume vegetable. You have to consume, okay, vegetables. So in simply, if your want is education, now you are consuming my service, okay, tuition service, right? Service. එහෙනම් ඔයාලගේ want satisfy කරගන්න, you need to consume either good or services. Okay? So how to satisfy wants? To satisfy human wants, you need to consume what? Need to consume goods and services. Sir, even though you said earlier it has goods and services, here you have written only goods. Why is that? In subject economics, keep in mind, both goods and services are commonly considered as what? Goods, right? Both goods and services are commonly considered as goods only in subject economics. In other subjects, this might be different, right? Even services are also coming under the category of goods. හරි. එහෙනම් කතාව පැහැදිලි. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ wants තියෙනවා, ආසාවන් තියෙනවා unlimitedව. ඒවා satisfy කරගන්න නම් මිනිස්සු මොනවා පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕනේද? goods පාවිච්චි කරන්න ඕන. ඔයාලගේ want එක KFC chicken bucket එකක් නම් ඒක satisfy කරගන්න නම් KFC chicken bucket එකක් කන්නම ඕන. good එකක් පාවිච්චි කරන්නම ඕන. එහෙනම් want satisfy වෙන්නේ goods පාවිච්චි කරලා. Now the next one. Okay, to produce goods, right? What should we use? What should we use? Should utilize mean use. Should use what? What? I want to ask from the audience. Can you please tell me, right? To consume a good like, to produce a good like chair. Okay, now we'll take this kind. This is a chair, right? Now tell me, what are the things that we have used to produce this chair? Okay, to produce goods should utilize. What are the things that we should utilize? Okay, I'm simply writing here, producers should utilize. Tell me, what are the things that we have used to produce this kind of a chair? Here we can see cushion, right? Not only that, here iron, right? Not only that, here there are some nails. And if you can see this side, here we have used what? Wooden part as well, Okay, cushion is there, right? Iron is there, nails are there, wood is there, right? And if you carefully look here, a rubber one is there. Okay, the bottom is filled with rubber is there. So what is the common term given for all these things? Raw materials. And to produce a chair, we need to consume raw materials. Is that enough? No, we need someone's effort. A person, carpenter, should do the production process. Right? Raw materials are not enough. Someone should cut this, polish this, attach this, fix this. Everything have to be done by a person. This person's effort is known as labor. Is that enough? No, we need nice machine. By using machine, we can take the shape of round, right? Okay, we can take this round shape and we can make these nice shapes by using a kind of an advanced machine, right? Machine also can be used to produce this chair, right? So it is very clear, the cushion, iron, nails, wood, rubber, all together raw materials. Someone should work by spending time and everything to produce this chair, labor. And a machine should use to cut and polish this one, to create these shapes and everything. So machine should be used. So what is the common term given for all these things? Yes, the common term given for all these things is resources. In simply we call it as productive resources. So cushion, machines, raw materials, rubber, right, iron, everything comes under the category of productive resources. Or we call it as factors of production. There is also factors of production. Okay, now it is very clear. Okay, now tell me, I'm asking, you have to respond in the chat box. Factors of production or productive resources, things that we use to produce this kind of a good, are limited or unlimited? Now give me answer in the chat box. Countable or uncountable? Limited or unlimited? Right? Cushion. Do we have unlimited cushions in this world? Right? යන්න බෑ. යන්න තැන ඔක්සිජන් වගේ හැමතැනම කුෂන් තියෙනවද? ඒ යන්න බෑ ඔක්සිජන් නම් යන්න තැන සිතු තැන දුටු තැන ඔක්සිජන් තියෙනවා. ඔක්සිජන් වගේ හැමතැනම මේ වගේ චෙයාර්ස් හදන කුෂන් තියෙනවද? Cushions are limited or unlimited? Limited. Countable. Okay, to produce this one, we have used iron. Iron is limited or unlimited? limited, countable. කොච්චර යකඩ ගානක් ලංකාවේ තියෙනවද කියලා ගණන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. right? නැතු ඔක්සිජන් වගේ යන තැන දුටුතර නෑ. ඔක්සිජන් නම් කොහේ හරි යද්දි ඇඟේ වදිනවා. ඒ වගේ කොහේ හරි යද්දි ඇඟේ අයන් වදිනවද? නෑ. Limited. And now, laborers who are sacrificing their effort to produce this kind of a chair. Laborers. Do we have laborers at everywhere? No, limited. We have limited number of laborers to produce these kinds of chairs. We have limited number of carpenters in the country, countable number of carpenters in the country to produce this kind of a chair. So my dear lovely students, keep in mind what is the unique feature of this one. Limited or unlimited? Limited or unlimited? Limited. Okay. Now you can see a problem. Did you observe? Did you notice the problem? What is the problem? Right? Let's take a different color to show the problem. Right? Okay. What is the problem? You can see wants are unlimited. මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ආසාවන් අසීමිතයි. But what are the things that we use to satisfy these wants? Resources. Okay, productive resources, or we call it as factors of production. Okay, we have unlimited wants. To satisfy wants, we have to use these resources, but resources are really limited. Wants are unlimited, but resources are limited. Wants are unlimited, resources are limited. There is a contradiction. There is a conflict between wants and resources. Right? Okay. If we are having unlimited human wants, we need to consume unlimited number of goods. Unlimited wants තියෙනවා නම් අපිට unlimited wants ටික satisfy කරගන්න unlimited goods ප්‍රමාණයක් තියෙන්න ඕන. Okay, to produce unlimited goods, we need to have unlimited resources. To produce unlimited goods, we need to have unlimited set of resources. But in reality, we have only limited set of resources. So these concepts are conflicting with each other. On the other hand, we are having limited resources. By using limited resources, we can produce only limited number of goods. By using limited goods, we can satisfy only limited number of wants. Okay. By using limited resources, we can produce only limited amount of goods. By using limited amount of goods, we can satisfy only limited number of wants. Not all unlimited wants can be satisfied. Right? We can't. So now it is very clear, in a society people are having unlimited human wants. Compared to unlimited human wants, we don't have enough resources to satisfy those wants. Okay? We need big amount of resources to produce goods and satisfy wants, but we are having very limited resources compared to wants. Now this trade-off, right, we will be taking, right, this trade-off means ගැටුම, conflict එක, ඝට්ටනය. The trade-off between what? Wants and resources. Trade-off between wants and resources. Wants are unlimited, but resources are limited. This is known as what? This is known as, there is a problem. This problem is known as a scarcity. This problem is known as what? A scarcity. What city? A scarcity. Then people might ask to define a scarcity. What is a scarcity? Right? We can say a definition: limitedness of resources. Limitedness of resources compared to unlimited human wants. limitedness of resources compared to unlimited human wants. Wants is the scarcity. This is the definition, right? We can rename it as limitedness of productive resources. That is also better. Productive resources compared to unlimited human wants. Now everyone, ඉන්න තැන ඉඳන්ම definition එක කියන්න. ඔන්න පළවෙනි දවසේ ඉඳලා definition උදේට පාඩම් කරන්න ඕන. මොකක්ද scarcity කියන්නේ? ඔළුවට ගත්ත සරලයි කතන්දරේ රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ wants ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඒ wants ටික ඉටු කරගන්න රටේ මිනිස්සුන්ගේ තියෙන resources පොඩ්ඩයි. එතකොට resources පොඩ්ඩකින් wants ඔක්කොම satisfy කරගන්න බෑ. ඒ බැරි කමට අපි කියනවා scarcity කියලා. Hari oka api lassanata English වලින් definition එකක් විදිහට ලිව්වා. What is the definition? Limitedness of resources. What resources? Productive resources. Here, productive. Limitedness of productive resources compared to unlimited human wants is known as scarcity. Understood, right? හැබැයි ළමයි මේකේ ලකුණු හම්බ වෙන්න නම් මෙන්න මේ අන්ඩර්ලයින් කරන වචන ටික අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම තියෙන්න ඕන. මේ අන්ඩර්ලයින් කරන වචන වලින් එකක් හරි නැත්තම් ෆුල් මාක්ස් හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඩෙෆිනිෂන් එකට. මම කියවනේ පළවෙනි දවසේම අපි මාකින් ස්කීම් එකට ලියන්න තමයි උගන්වන්නේ. මොනවා හරි ඩෙෆිනිෂන් එකක් දීලා ළමයාට concept එක විතරක් කියලා දීලා අපි පස්සේ බලන්නේ A level exam එකේ මාකින් එක හැදෙන විදිහත් එක්ක තමයි උගන්වන්නේ. A level exam එකේ මාකින් එකේ මේ definition ලකුණු හම්බ වෙන්න නම් මේ වචන තුන තියෙන්න ඕන. These three words must be there to earn full marks for the definition. What are the three words? First one, limitedness. That should be there because resources are limited. Unlimited should be there because wants are unlimited. And the word compared to also should be there. Word compared to also should be there. Why? Okay, we are comparing resources together with wants. Compared to wants, resources are not enough. Compared to wants, resources are limited, insufficient. So we are comparing resources together with wants. A comparison is there. Because of that reason, the word compared also should be there. Understood? Right. Okay, that is fine. So limitedness of resources compared to unlimited human wants is known as a scarcity. You know, this is what problem? Fundamental problem in subject economics. Economics වල fundamental problem එක තමයි මේක. හරි. එහෙනම් අපි ලියමු. Right, in page number 5, let's start writing. I will be reading, right? You write. Right, show my face to the students. Right, ma open numa PR. Lemo. Scarcity is the fundamental. Start writing. Page number 5. Right? Page number 5. Bottom. You have to write under the fundamental economic problem. You write scarcity. How to spell scarcity? Here are the spellings. Scarcity. The scarcity is the fundamental. The scarcity is the fundamental slash alai raggahan slash. Scarcity is the fundamental slash. Slash mean alai fundamental. The scarcity is the fundamental slash central fundamental or central problem in economics. Fundamental slash central problem in economics. Fundamental slash central problem in economics. Fundamental slash central problem in economics. That is first dash. පොයින්ට් ෆෝම් එකට ලියන්න ඕන ළමයි A level වල මාකින් වලත් එක පොයින්ට් එකක් සංකේතවත් කරන්නේ මෙහෙම තනි ඉරකින් පොඩි ඩෑෂ් එකක් ගහලා. ඒ නිසා මම පොයින්ට් එකක් දුන්නාම ඩෑෂ් එකක් ගැහුවා ලිව්වා. ඊට පස්සේ ස්පේස් එකක් තියලා ඊළඟ ඩෑෂ් එක ගහන්න ඕනේ. Right. So the first dash is scarcity is the fundamental or central problem in economics. Next dash. Scarcity is the you can write as on the board. All right, what is the definition? Limitedness of productive resources, compared to unlimited human wants. Scarcity is the limitedness of productive resources compared to unlimited human wants. Scarcity is the limitedness of productive resources compared to unlimited human wants. Unlimited human wants. Scarcity is the limitedness of productive resources compared to unlimited human wants. Scarcity is the limitedness of productive resources compared to unlimited human wants. Full stop. Next dash. Leave a line, next dash. Always when I say next dash, it is the next point. So you leave line and go to the next dash. Next dash. Right. On the other hand, comma, this means. On the other hand, comma, this means. On the other hand, comma, this means. This means the insufficiency of resources. On the other hand, this means the insufficiency of resources. On the other hand, this means the insufficiency of resources. The insufficiency of resources to satisfy all humans' wants. Insufficiency of resources to satisfy all human wants in a society. Insufficiency of resources to satisfy all human wants in a society. Insufficiency of resources to satisfy all human wants in a society. Insufficiency of resources to satisfy all human wants in a society. Good. Right. Hurry. This means insufficiency of resources to satisfy all human wants in a society. Right. Then go to the next page. In the next page, top, page number 6, top, there is a space at the top. Okay, before main functions of economics. Okay, above that topic there is a space. In that space you draw everything on the board. This is the summary of scarcity problem. Right, draw this illustration at the top of page number 6 then. Right, once you finish, put your hometown in the chat box. Right, කරලා ඉවර නම් ඔයාලගේ hometown එක දාන්න බලන්න chat box එකේ. හරි, කරලා ඉවර වෙලා කරලා ඉවරුනහම තමයි මම තේරුම් ගන්නේ. sorry, ඔයගොල්ලෝ එහෙම දැම්මාම තමයි තේරුම් ගන්නේ. හරි, මෙයා ඉවරයි කියලා. ඉවරයි කියන done කියන්න එපා. You put your hometown. Right? So once you finish, you put your hometown in the chat box. Then I will be recognizing yourself as a person who finished the activity. Okay, finish. Right, we got replies only from one student. What about the others? If you have finished, please put your hometown. Okay, the people from Colombo, people from Negombo are here. Okay, good, good, good. Right, right, okay. So this is the technology in Sakya studio. You are taking all the notes. Again, show the screen to the students, right? Okay, if you have finished, you put your hometown in the chat box. I think the students are still. Okay, we have people from Kegol, some people from Katunayaka, okay, and Anuradhapura people, Colombo people also. There are many Colombo people are here. Okay, good, good, good. So pass the message about the commencement of our classes to all the non-people and bring them. And actually, you need to start Sakya LMS account. Keep in mind, keep in mind, keep in mind. Sakya ke account එකක් open කරන්න ඕන. මොකද මගේ රත්තරන් ළමයිනේ මේ මාසේ විතරයි හොඳේ free. ලබන මාසේ ඉඳලා ඔයාලට රුපියල් 3500ක monthly payment එකක් ගෙවන්න තියෙනවා. The monthly payment is 3,500 and it is fair enough for everyone. Right, you need to do the payments to Sakya bank accounts. Okay, to make the payments, you need to open the account. Open account, right, in LMS. Open account in LMS of Sakya. So after this class, I will be sharing a kind of a after this class, at the end of the class, we will be sharing a video which will be guiding you regarding how to prepare Sakya LMS account, right? So after the session, don't leave suddenly, wait and watch that video and prepare that Sakya account. Then before the end of this month, you need to do the payments for month April. For the students who are paying, we will be sending the hard copies of tune. For the students who are paying, okay, then you need to, your everything will be tracked by LMS, right? Then we will be providing tune for you, okay? Right, okay, Anuradhapura people, many Anuradhapura people are there, right? Okay, any more to reply? Any more to reply? We got lots of replies. Right, shall we go ahead then? Finish. If you want more time, please put wait in the chat box. Wait, wait, wait. Okay, no one is asking to wait. That means hope everybody have finished. Right. Good. Now we are moving to the tute once again. Right. Can you see this? Right. We want to define economics, but before defining economics, right, we want to know about the fundamental economic problem. We identified it. Fantastic. We identified it. Second, functions in economy. Economy ekaka functions. Economy ekaka karana වැඩ. Right? We can go up. Right? We will be jumping here. Right. Let's see. අපි economy එකක කරන වැඩ ටික අඳුර ගන්න යන්නේ. This is right. Right. The functions in economics is the second thing that we need to know, right? Let's move to the functions of economics in the page number 6, right? Page number 6. Okay, now look here, right? Pay the attention. We have to book down. Right, major functions of economics. Okay, right. Lamai, actually in an economy, can you tell me what are the three major functions? මොනවද කරන ප්‍රධානම වැඩ තුන? අපි හිතමු, right? We will be thinking again about this one. Okay, අපි මේක මෙතනින්ම තියමු. ඔන්න ලොකු පුටුවක් විකුණන්න යන්නේ. Okay, can you tell me what is the very first activity that we are doing with regard to this cushion chair or this iron chair? මේ chair එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් කරන පළවෙනි economic වැඩේ කියන්න බලන්න. Use the chat box. What is the very first economic activity that we are doing with regard to this kind of a chair? Put in the chat box. What is the very first economic activity that we are doing with regard to this chair? The very first economic activity is easy. What is it? We need to produce this one. We need to produce this one. So what is the first economic activity? Yes, it is production. So the first cage is filled with production, right? So here we can write the first economic activity is what? Production. Production. Hari. Then onna api මේක produce කළා. Produce කරාට පස්සේ ඊළඟට වෙන වැඩේ මොකද්ද? After producing chair, what is the second economic activity? Can someone tell me in the chat box? Right? What is the second economic activity after producing this one? Right? Okay? You have to think and tell me because I want you to think. Otherwise, I will be talking. You will be never thinking. Right? Tell me. After producing a chair, what is the second activity? Yes. Suppose I am Moratu Libadu company. මංගාවට කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් එනවා. ඒ කස්ටමර් කෙනාට මේ chair එක විකුණනවා. Right? එන මොකද කරන්නේ? Someone is coming. Hello, hi, I'm Pasan. Can you take this one? Can you buy this one? I'm going to sell this one. That means, what is the second economic activity? She is buying this chair. As the Moratu Libadu company owner, I'm going to sell this one. Buying and selling. Buying and selling. Firstly, we produce this one. Next, I will be selling it. Someone will be buying. So this is known as what? Exchange. This is known as what? Exchange. Buying and selling. Selling and buying. Exchange. So second economic activity is exchange. So I put it into the second cage. And here also I am writing the second economic activity, it is exchange. What do you mean by exchange? We can write here buying and selling. Buying and selling. Buying and selling. Good. Right, the last one. Last one, you can tell. Give a try. Firstly, we produce a chair. Then someone came. We have already sold it. She has already purchased it. Then what happened? Suppose I am the Somapala who purchased it. Mama tamai me පුටුව ගත්තේ කියලා. දැන් ඉතින් පුටුව ගත්තා නම් සල්ලි දීලා ගත්තා නම් ඉඳ ගන්න. පුටුව ගත්තා නම් ඉඳ ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ පුටුව පාවිච්චි කරන්න. If I have purchased this පුටුව, if I have purchased this chair, then I should consume it. I should what? Consume it. Then we'll write the next one is consumption. Consumption. Okay. Right. So what is the third economic activity? Consumption. Using that one. Using that particular product. Okay. Now it is very clear. What are the three major economic activities in every economy? Firstly, we are producing the good. Nextly, we are selling and someone is buying it. Selling and buying is known as exchange. Finally, the person who purchased it will be using it. Will be using it. Using means we call it as consumption. Now I would like to ask a question from you. Out of these three economic activities, can you tell me which one is the most important economic activity? මේ උඩ තියෙන economic activities තුනෙන් වඩා වැදගත්ම කියලා හිතන economic activity එක මොකක්ද ළමයි? Right. මේකට නම් උත්තර ඕනෙමයි ළමයි. Put in the chat box. What is the most important economic activity out of these three? Right? Is it production? Is it exchange? Or is it consumption? Which one is the most important economic activity? Use the chat box. I want replies. I want replies from every student. You guess your answer can be correct or wrong, no matter, but you need to reply. Right. Put in the chat box, okay? Some people are saying exchange. Good, good, good. Any answer would be fine. Okay, Sanuli, thank you. Replies are there. Some people are saying, sir, the most important economic activity is production. Okay, okay, okay. Another one saying, okay, sir, again it is exchange. Right? මේ තුනෙන් වඩා වැදගත්ම economic activity එක exchange ලු. ළමයි මේ තුනෙන් වඩා වැදගත්ම economic activity එක. The most important economic activity එක වෙන්නේ කවුද? කවුද? This is the most important economic activity. What is it? What is it? Consumption. This is the most important economic activity, economic function. Why is it? Why is it? Why is it? When there is no consumption happening, are there anything to be exchanged? If people are not consuming banana, do we need to exchange it? If people are not consuming these kinds of chairs, do we need to exchange it? Do we need to do buying and selling? If people are not consuming this one? No. If people are not consuming tuition services, then do we need to do buying and selling of tuition services? No. If people are not using cars, if people are not doing consumption of cars, do we need to do buying and selling, exchange of cars? No. And because of consumption only, we have to do an exchange. Because of exchange, we have to produce that good. To do selling, to do buying. Before that, we need to produce a good. Right? So, exchange and production both are depending on what? Consumption. Exchange and production both are depending on consumption. අපි හිතමු මේ ලෝකේ ඉන්න මිනිස්සු ඔක්කොම කතා වෙලා තීරණය කරනවා ඇඳුම් අදින්න නැහැ කියලා. Okay, that is unrealistic, but we'll see like that. Right? ඇඳුම් අදින්න නැහැ. All the people in the world have decided not to wear any single cloth. Now what happened to the cloth consumption? Cloth consumption will become zero. No one consume. If no one is consuming cloth, do we need to do selling and buying of clothes? කවුරුත් ඇඳුම් අදින්න නැත්තම් ඇඳුම් විකුණලා වැඩක් තියනවද? ගණ්ඩිකෙක් නැත්තම්. එහෙනම් buying and selling එකක් වෙයිද? නෑ. ඇඳුම් consumption එකක් වෙන්නේ නැත්තම් ඇඳුම් exchange එකක් වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. exchange කරන්නේ නැත්තම් අපි produce කරලා වැඩක් තියනවද? වැඩක් නෑ. එහෙනම් production එකක් වෙන්නේත් නෑ. ඇඳුම් exchange කරගන්න නැත්තම් විකුණන්න purchase කරන වැඩ ටික කරන්නේ නැත්තම් ඇඳුම් සම්බන්ධයෙන් Brandix company එක mass company එක තියෙන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. ඒව වහන්න production එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙනම් both production and exchange are depending on consumption. That's why we call consumption as the most valuable economic activity. I have mentioned it. The most important economic activity is consumption. You can highlight these keywords. Why is it important? Because it drives all the other economic activities. Drives all the other economic activities. But we have to erase one. Other economic activities are production and erase distribution and rename it as what? Exchange. Okay. Right. Complete main functions of economics. Finish it. Right. Once you finish, right, please put the most important economic activity in the chat box. Once you finish, ඉවර වෙලා chat box එකේ දාන්න ඔය economic activities තුනෙන් වඩා වැදගත් economic activity එකේ නම. එතකොට තමයි මම තේරුම් ගන්නවා අල්ල ලියලා ඉවරයි කියලා. Do it. Lamai, once you finish, please put not finish, but you have to put the most name of the most important economic activity. Right? It's kind of a refreshment of memory. Don't put finish. You write, you type the most important economic activity in the chat box if you have finished everything. Okay, we have received responses from Sanuli, Maliti. What about others? Right, if you have finished all these things, please put the name of the most important economic activity in the chat box. If you have finished, please put the name of the most important economic activity in the chat box. And I am waiting for your responses to start the next part. Right. Okay. Time is over. Right. Now we are moving to the next segment. Finally, what is economic in your point of view? Right. Let's move up in the same diagram. Let's move up. Right. Finally, what is economics in your point of view? Everyone, look. Stop all other works. Look. Right. Okay, I'm going to give the simple meaning of what is economics here now. Right? Okay, you know, there are three parties, right? The first party is, okay, the first economic activity is, okay, we'll take all the three economic activities here. First economic activity is production, right? Second economic activity is exchange, right? Last economic activity is consumption. Okay, consumption. Who is doing production? Production කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ කවුද? Producer. Production කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ කවුද? Producer. Who is doing exchange? Yes, exchange mean buying and selling නේ. So exchange කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ buyers and sellers. Exchange කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ buyers and sellers. Right? Consumption. Consumption කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ consumers. Consumption කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ consumers ලා. Right? Production කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ producers ලා. Exchange කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ buyers and sellers ලා. Consumption කියන වැඩේ කරන්නේ consumers ලා. දැන් මට කියන්න, right, what economics is studying, right? Yes, when producers are going to do the production, they are also facing fundamental problem in economics. Put in the chat box, what is the fundamental economic problem? Put in the chat box just to refresh our memory. What is the fundamental problem in economics? What is the name? Starting from letter S. What is the fundamental economic problem? That is a scarcity. Scarcity. Right? Scarcity. You know, when producers are doing production, they are facing the problem of scarcity. Right? When buyers and sellers are doing exchange, they are also facing the problem of scarcity. When buyers and sellers are doing exchange, they are also facing the problem of scarcity. When consumers are doing consumption, they are also facing the problem of scarcity. So all these parties are facing the problem of scarcity when doing these economic activities. So what's happening in economics? In economics, we are studying how these humans are behaving, how these humans are making choices. Okay, that means simply how these human beings are facing to the problem of scarcity when doing these economic activities. This is the thing which is studied in the subject economics. එහෙනම් economics වල කතා කරන්නේ මොකක්ද? Economics වල කතා කරන්නේ මේ producers ලා, buyers ලා, sellers ලා, consumers ලා කියන්නේ මිනිස්සු, human ලා. ඒ human ලා production එක කරද්දි, exchange එක කරද්දි, consumption එක කරද්දි මොන ප්‍රශ්නෙට මුහුණ දෙනවද? Scarcity කියන problem එකට මුහුණ දෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ scarcity එකට මුහුණ දීලා decision ගන්නෙ කොහොමද? ඒ කියන්නේ choices make කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා study කරන social science subject එකක් මේ ලෝකේ තියෙනවා නම් that is economics. That is economics. So once again tell me what is economics? Economics is a social science subject which study how humans economically behave. How humans economically behave. That means how producers involve in production, how buyers and sellers involve in exchange, how consumers involve in consumption, when faced into the problem of what? Scarcity. When faced into the problem of scarcity. Repeat the definition. Repeat the definition once again. What do you mean by scarcity? Sorry, what do you mean by economics? Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying about human economic behavior, that means how humans economically behave. What do you mean by that? How producers make choices with regard to production, how buyers and sellers make choices with regard to exchange, how consumers make choices with regard to consumption. When facing the problem of scarcity, that social science subject is known as what? Economics. එහෙනම් හරි සරලයි මේ කියපු මිනිස්සු ටික මේ කියපු ඉකොනොමික් ඇක්ටිවිටීස් ටික කරද්දී ස්කෑසිටි කියන ප්‍රශ්නයට මුහුණ දෙන විදිහ ඉගෙන ගන්න සෝෂල් සයන්ස් සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක තමයි අපේ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක economics. So finally, what is economics in your point of view? We can write it. Right. Let's start writing page number 6 bottom. Alright. Under this topic. Put the first dash and start writing. Okay. Write down. Economics is a social science subject. Economics is a social science subject. Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying. Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying how human behave economically. Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying how human behave economically. Economics is a social science subject in which we are studying how human behave economically. Economically. How human behave economically. Slash mean error. Slash how humans make choices, how human behave economically, slash how human behave economically, slash how human make choices, how humans make choices, how humans make choices when performing, how humans behave economically, slash mean error, how humans make choices, how humans make choices, how humans make choices when performing production, when performing production, when performing production, exchange, consumption. Production, exchange, consumption. When facing the problem of a scarcity, when facing the problem of 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 scarcity, right? Okay, right, done. So today I have spent a very big time to introduce what is economics, fundamental economic problem, scarcity, and how the definition of economics evolved, right? So since this is the very first session, I am spending some time at the very beginning to grow up gradually. So when you adapt to my style, then I will be faster in the process. මුල්ලදී ටිකක් මම ස්ලෝ කරනවා. මොකද සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකකට ඇතුල් වෙද්දි මම බිලීව් කරනවා ටිකක් ස්ලෝලි තමයි යන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට ළමයාට ඒ සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකට එන්ටර් වෙන්න ලේසි. හැබැයි සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකට ළමයා ලස්සන එන්ට්‍රන්ස් එකක් ගත්තට පස්සේ අපි ටිකක් වැඩේ ෆාස්ට් කරනවා. So I'm repeating that announcement again, right? So we are doing the very beginning few sessions little slowly. Then when you adapt and enter to the subject nicely, then we will be going ahead fastly. Right. Okay, so the next topic is economic way of thinking. But I will be skipping this economic way of thinking to the next day with the time constraint. But I will be moving to the next topic. This is 1.1.2 topic. We'll do it later when you come to the next day. And today we will be moving to this one. What is it? Importances of learning economics. Importances of learning economics. හරි. දැන් බලමු අපි economics ඉගෙන ගන්න එකේ වැදගත්කම් මොනවද කියලා වාසි. Right? Okay. So everyone look at the board. Importances. Now this is very valuable subject name economics. Yes, because now even these days we can see, right, there is a very big economic crisis ongoing, no? Right, with the Iran-USA war and all these things, right? The society is expecting a stagnation, economic suffering in future. So everybody are talking about economics. Everybody are talking about economics. That much valuable subject. Okay. So let's see, these are the users of economics, learning economics, or not users of economics, users name. Users of learning economics. Acquiring comprehensive knowledge about economic activities, right? Economic activities in the world we are living. අපි ජීවත් වෙන ලෝකයේ සිද්ධ වෙන economic activities අපිට comprehensively දකින්න පුළුවන්. Iran USA war එක කොහොමද අපේ oil prices වලට බලපාන්නේ? Iran USA war එක කොහොමද අපේ economy එකට බලපාන්නේ? All these things can be learned very fantastically if we know everything. Okay, so everyone focus on this example on Iran USA war. Do you know, right? Now in Sri Lankan context, we are having an oil shock. At the moment, we are having an oil shock. Yes, of course, you know, you yourself have gone to the oil queue, right? Sometimes your parents have gone to oil queue. Everyone are fighting these days to find oil because of Iran-USA war. But don't think that this is the very first oil shock in the world, right? Do you know, right? In 1973, we have experienced the very first oil shock after 1970. 1970 පස්සේ වාර්තා වෙච්ච පළවෙනි oil shock එක වාර්තා වෙන්නේ 1973 දී. How? That was because of a war. This time the war was happen, right, in between two countries, Arab and Israel. Arab and Israel. You know, both the countries are Middle East countries. See, oil shocks were originated from the Middle East. Middle East වලින් තමයි oil shock පටන් අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ. Right? Arab and Israel were fighting. Okay, then countries like USA, countries like Netherlands, countries like Portugal, they were super supportive to country called Israel, not to Arab. Then what happened? Arab stopped sending oil to other nations. Okay, since USA is supporting to Israel, Arab decided not to send oil to USA, right? Netherlands. Since Netherlands, Portugal, these western countries are supporting to Israel, Arab decided not to send oil to Netherlands, Portugal as well. So in this way what happened, right? Arab has created a shortage in oil in those specific countries. What happened? Automatically it created an oil shortage. When there was oil shortage, the prices of oil have gone up even during this period 1973 and 1974. This is not the very first. This is the very first one, but this was not the end. Why? In 1979, we have experienced the second oil shock. Right? That was also originated from where? From Middle East, right? That was from the Middle East, and it was basically because of some of the people from the Middle East were struggled against the rule of that particular country, and because of that, since people were fighting against the ruler, the focus was more on the monopoly power of the ruler not to produce oil. Because of that, what happened, right? All the activities are related to the oil production and go down. Again, oil shortage was created. Finally, oil prices went up in 1979. Okay, that was not an end. Next one, 1990. You know, Iraq-Kuwait war. Iraq-Kuwait war. Right? That was the third oil shock after 1970. That was also because of what? Because of what? Middle East wars. That is also because of Middle East wars. Oil shortage was created. Oil prices went up. Was it the end? No. 2008. There was a financial crisis in the world. Right? Because of that, right, people were suffering with currency issues. People were not able to buy oil. Then another oil shock was there. Right? And 2022, right, it was the last oil shock. Yes, you can remember 2024 mean 4 years ago, no? You can remember your parents were in the queue of the oil or a petrol in order to buy fuel for their cars and motorbikes, right? We were suffering in 2022. Every one of us can remember how hard that time was. Was it an end? No, this is the next time, 2026 oil crisis. You know, 2022 oil crisis was because of Russia-Ukraine war. But ladies and gentlemen, my dear lovely students, keep in mind, 2026 oil crisis is because of what? 2026 oil crisis is because of Iran-USA war. But the World Economic Forum is saying that 2026 oil crisis will be 17 times larger than 2022 oil crisis. So this is the situation. Now you can understand oil shock was this 2026 oil shock is not the very first oil shock in the century or last half century. This is the sixth oil shock in the last half century. So to know about all these things, Lamai, what should we do? Okay, to know about all these economic activities happening in the world, what should we do? We need to learn economics. That is an advantage of learning economics. We can understand what's happening in the world, then we can analyze all the things in our dimension and we can predict what will be happening in future. So we can do all these things if we know economics. Lovely students. The second benefit is development of analytical and logical capabilities required for modern job market. Now the job market is so competitive, right? The job market is completely invaded by artificial intelligence. Do you know, right? There is a one company at, I can't remember the exact country, but there is a one company, that company's CEO, Chief Executive Officer, is a robo lady. A robo lady. This robo lady is taking meetings with the participation of human beings in the company. So see, that is the technology in modern labor market. But we can address these requirements of the modern labor market if we know what? This wonderful subject, economics. And the other one, gaining proper knowledge needed to make day-to-day economic decisions. What are the day-to-day economic decisions? Going to the Kale super, buying a cementine. Going to the bread shop, buying a piece of a bread. Or going to KFC, eating a chicken bucket. Oh, these are the day-to-day economic decisions, no? Paying money in the bus, right? Making payments by using your ATM cards. All these are day-to-day economic decisions. To run these day-to-day economic decisions, you need to know about what? Economics. Other than these things, what are the advantages of learning economics? Okay, so we'll erase these things first and we'll take another 2 or 3 benefits of learning this subject economics, right? Okay. Now, yes, economics is important, right? Important to, yes, important economics, the economics knowledge is really important to, okay, yes, to use election vote, okay, after analyzing economic policies of right, politicians, economic policies of politicians, right? Yes, if you are having economics knowledge, you can take the proposals, economic proposals presented by Anura Kumar Dissanayake AKD and analyze it. Okay, when next election comes, okay, you can analyze the reports of next presidential election candidate, and with a proper understand you can analyze those things, then later you can, right, give your vote in a productive way. To use your election democratic voting power in a productive way, you need to have an understanding about the economic policies. And also, right, okay, to judge or evaluate, right, okay, evaluate the existing economic policies, right, economic policies. දැනට ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන economic policies, මේ වෙනකොට ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන economic policies, maybe a taxation policy, maybe a subsidization policy, tax ගහන එක වෙන්න පුළුවන්, දුප්පත් මිනිසුන්ට සහනාධාර දෙන එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේ වගේ රටක රජයේ ආර්ථික ප්‍රතිපත්ති ඔයාට ඉවැලුවේට් කරන්න. හරිද වැරදිද මේක? දැන් ඔන්න තෙල් ප්‍රයිස් එක වැඩි කළා, right? මේ මාර්තු මාසෙදී oil prices රුපියල් 24කින් වැඩි කළා. ඒක හරිද වැරදිද? That is economic policy decision. Is it correct or wrong? Is it rational or unrational? You can judge, you can evaluate if you have economics knowledge. Understand? And the most important thing is, okay, to forecast or predict right? Future economic trends, future economic trends, future economic trends, right? Future के economic trends कोई පැත්තටයිද? Oil prices තව වැඩි වෙයිද? ලංකාවේ exports කඩම් වැටෙයිද? ලංකාවේ inflation එක වැඩි වෙයිද? ලංකාවේ තෙල් පෝලින් තව ලොකු වෙයිද? මේ වගේ future predictions දෙන්නත් you need to know about economics, right? You can forecast what will happen for the prices of foods in future, what will happen to the prices of transport in future, what will happen to the export revenue of the country in future, what will happen to the dollar inflow to the country in future. We can do these forecasting if you are having primary economics knowledge and advanced economics knowledge as well. So these are the benefits of learning subject economics. මේ වගේ questions නම් ළමයි A level වල එන්නේ direct questions විදියට. ලකුණු 5යි, write 5 importances of learning economics, then they will be given 5 marks. Direct questions, not to explain, not to describe. They will be asking these types of questions in point form. Right, quickly take down this one. Once you finish everything, please put done in the chat box. Right. Finish. Okay. At the same time, I want to give some messages. Please pass the message about the class to your lovely friends. So that will be, the class will be entirely free. okay, throughout the whole March. That means even the next week will be a free session. They can come and see whether this is suited for themselves or not, right? And we will be continuing the class from April under the payment system, and you need to open up your own LMS account in Sakya before you are attending to the lecture for the next month. So before 30th of this month, you need to make the 3,500 payment for the Sakya account to take the tutor of hand and to participate our lectures from the next month onwards. So please pass the message about the class, and you can give your comment on how today's session was in the chat box. आपे सेशन ने क्या comment कब done? Was it understandable or was it okay? How did you feel and everything? Once you finish, yes, put in the chat box. I'm waiting for your replies. Right? Please give your replies. How did you feel the today's lecture? Was it okay? Right? Was it good? Okay. Did you understand the concepts of scarcity, the benefits of economics? Right? And also we discuss about the basic functions of economics, how the economics definition evolved. We discuss lots. So please put your comment and the feedback on the today's session in the chat box. Right, okay, we are receiving comments. Thank you very much for your replies. Okay, good. Thank you for the replies and comments. Right, if you have any doubts, you can contact me and at any time. Right, and please pass the message about the class for the friends as well. Right. Okay, then it is time to wind up the today's session. And we will be meeting on the next day at the same time. Keep in the mind, the date is Friday, 7:30 to 9:30. Good luck.